In this video, we're going to show you how to install brake calipers on your Kia Sorento located behind your front wheels. Using a 21mm socket, go ahead and loosen and remove your lug nuts. Go ahead and grab that wheel, remove it, and set it aside. With your wheel removed, you want to go ahead and turn it all the way out so you have access to the hardware on your brake caliper. You want to use a 14mm socket, loosen and remove the brake caliper bolts. Now before we remove this here, we want to go ahead and we're going to grab our caliper hanging hook here. You can use a securing strap or whatever you have, but what you want to do is go ahead and slide this off. We're going to put our hook on it and we're going to put it on our strut spring up top. And just to hold that up out of the way, we don't want the brake flex hose to have any abnormal pressure pulling on that, as we could damage that if you don't support that properly. Now onto the brake pad area, we want to go ahead and remove our brake pads. You can pull those out. If they do not come out easy, you can simply use a flat blade screwdriver to get in there and pop those out. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove our brake caliper bracket. Remove these two 17mm bolts here. Now the upper bolt is a little bit tougher to get to, as there is a clearance issue with the socket and the ratchet. It hits the base of the strut itself. So you can use a box wrench, or if you have a crow's foot on your ratchet, you can try using that. Go ahead and support that brake caliper bracket while you remove this bolt. There we have it. Go ahead and remove that bracket and set it aside. Now before we install our new caliper and bracket, we want to go ahead and prep this using a 14mm socket to go ahead and loosen our caliper to slide pin bolts. Now these here, we want to go ahead and pull these out. These are our slide pins. So we're going to go ahead and hold that rubber boot and twist this out. We're going to slide this out. Now what we're looking for here is we want to make sure that the slide pin has enough grease on it for the longevity of the unit. So you basically want a thin coat. You can add a tiny bit if you want. Just put a thin coat of grease on there, and then we're going to slide this back in. Pinch that boot, pull it down towards the caliper bracket, and then work this in. Then we have it. Go ahead and give that a few turns. Now sometimes from the factory there'll be grease on there, but sometimes you just want to go ahead and add a little bit. You don't have to add a lot to make this work properly. Do the same here. And there's a good amount of grease on this one here, so we're good. It's always good to double check this. Hold back that boot, install. You can wipe off any excess. Now if you notice here, you push in and that boot is bulging out and it wants to push the pin back out. We have too much air inside here, so you can use a small pick or a flathead screwdriver. You just don't want to puncture that boot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go between the boot and the pin. And I want to create a release just by holding that out. And there it is there. It's okay if it pushes out a little bit, but we are lubed. Our brackets are on. Now if you happen to receive this component and these brackets are not installed, that may come in a bag, you want to go ahead and apply a thin coat of grease to the surface here. Smear it with your glove, wipe off the excess, and then take your bracket, line it up, and push that down and on, making sure that it's fully seated. You're going to do this for both sides. And our bracket is ready for installation. Go ahead and take your new caliper. I'm going to go ahead and put the upper bolt in first. All right, once you get that started a few threads, you can go ahead and let that hang, and then go ahead and get that lower one put in. Once you get those started, we can go ahead and snug them down. Now in the upper one, we do have a clearance issue here. You can kind of get your socket on there at an angle. We should be able to go ahead and get this bolt snugged down, or at least bottomed out. But then we're going to come back with our crow's foot and torque that down. You can't really get a torque wrench in here with a socket without damaging that bolt. So now torque these down to 50 foot-pounds. Once we have those torqued, we can go ahead and install our brake pads. When installing the brake pads, make sure that the inboard pad has the squeak tab on it. Go ahead and do the same for the outer pad. Go ahead and grab your caliper. You want to go ahead and push in on these slide pins. I'm going to get the upper bolt started, then the lower. Let's go ahead and snug those down. So these are going to get torqued to 20 foot-pounds, which is not a lot. Now on the back side here, you're going to find your banjo bolt, and it's going to have 2 copper washers on there. You want to loosen and remove these. Now it's mandatory that you use these copper washers when we install the hose. The bolt will have 1 copper washer on that side. This is going to go through the hose end, and then the copper washer is going to go on the other side and sandwich it, and then we're going to thread this in to the back side of the caliper. Now we have a catch can set up underneath our vehicle. We're now going to go ahead and bring our brake caliper down. And we want to go ahead and loosen and remove this bolt. Now brake fluid is going to come out of here, and we want to make sure that when we do that, that the copper washers are removed off of both sides of the fitting here. So let's go ahead and do that next. Using a 12mm socket, I want to go ahead and loosen and remove this banjo bolt. Remember, brake fluid is going to come out of the caliper and align. Inspect this here. Make sure that the copper washers are no longer on there. If you want to, go ahead and wipe it down. Going to grab the new bolt and the washer, feed that through, install the washer on the other side here. Go line that up, thread this in. Once you have that in a few threads, we can go ahead and snug that down. I'm going to go ahead and grab some spray solvent and spray this down to clean it up. Let's go ahead and torque down our bolt here. Torque down your banjo bolt to 21 foot-pounds. Now on the top right here, we're going to locate our bleeder screw. We have a rubber cap on here, so go ahead and pop this off. We're going to use an 11mm box wrench to go ahead and loosen this. I'm going to open that up, and what's going to happen here is brake fluid is going to come through the line, fill up the backside of the piston area, and then come out here. Now we're going to look for air bubbles to start burping out of here, and then it should be followed by a steady stream of brake fluid running out. That's what we're looking for, and this is considered a gravity bleed for this brake caliper. And at this point here, it appears most of our air bubbles are out. We still have a couple that are burping out still. Once you're satisfied that the air bubbles have stopped, I'm going to go ahead and clean this. Give it a little spray. Clean up that residual brake fluid. Make sure this bleeder screw is snug. So once it's bottomed out, just give it a little bit more. Install your rubber cap. Now at this point here, you want to go ahead and go up into the engine compartment to that brake master cylinder, top off that fluid, and then hop into the vehicle, pump up that brake pedal. You want to make sure that this caliper expands all the way in and compresses the pads up against the rotor. The brake pedal may go to the floor once or twice, and then it'll pump back up to its proper level. At that point there, install your wheel. You want to repeat this process for the driver's side if you need to, and then go for a road test. Go ahead and grab that wheel, line it up onto those wheel studs. Let's go ahead and get our lug nuts started. Now once we get all of these started, we're going to come back and snug them all down. Let's go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 75 foot-pounds. You want to do this in a crisscross pattern. And you're all set. Now I'm going to go ahead and use an evacuation tool here. You can use a turkey baster if you want to, but we need to go ahead and evacuate as much fluid from the master cylinder reservoir as possible. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. We have a container on the side to go ahead and pull this out and put it into. So let's go ahead and do that. Now brake fluid is corrosive, so you want to prevent this from getting all over other pieces and parts. Use a clean funnel. And then add the appropriate fluid necessary. Make sure you're right at that full mark. Put your cover on. Now we're going to go ahead and start our brake bleeding process. Now we have all four of our wheels off, and we're going to start at the right rear. Then we're going to proceed to the left front. At that point there, we're going to top off our master cylinder and then go to the left rear and end with the right front. Now we have someone inside the vehicle to go ahead and assist us while doing this process. We have a fluid bottle over here to catch the fluid from our bleeding process here. I'm going to go ahead and remove this cap. We have our 10mm wrench to go ahead and open up our bleeder screw. So we're going to put this on here. Now at this point, we're going to go ahead and have the person inside the vehicle go ahead and pump up that brake pedal about 3 to 4 times and hold pressure. Go ahead.
Holding.
While they're holding that there, I'm going to go ahead and open up the bleeder screw. And they're going to let me know once that pedal hits the floor, and we can watch the fluid and air come through.
Floor.
Now we can see all the air bubbles in there, and that's what we're trying to evacuate. And we're going to repeat this process until we have a steady stream of fluid coming out. Go ahead.
Holding. Floor.
Go ahead. That last one has some good solid fluid coming through.
Holding. Floor.
And that's perfect. That's what we're looking to get here. We want to close this up, remove our drain port here. Now if you happen to leak any brake fluid here, you want to go ahead and give that a spray with some spray solvent, clean that up, and then put on your cap. Let's go ahead and move to the left front wheel. Go ahead and open up your reservoir. Use a clean funnel. And then add the appropriate fluid necessary. Good, remove that funnel. Put that cover back on. Now here we are at the left front. We're gonna go ahead and pull off our rubber cap. Now if you don't have this rubber cap, it's not critical to the operation of the braking system. I'm gonna go ahead and put our bottle on here. All right, go ahead and pump it up.
Holding. Floor.
Go ahead.
Holding. Floor.
Go ahead. Now you can see we have a solid stream of fluid coming out, no air bubbles.
Holding.
We'll probably do this one more time.
Floor.
And this one here is perfect, so snug that down. Release this. Once again, if you have excess fluid dripping out, go ahead and spray that down with some solvent. Wipe it down and then put your cap on. And then we're going to continue this process. We're now going to move to the left rear, which is the driver's side rear, and then wrap up on the right front. Open up the cap. Now at this point here, you just want to go ahead and top that off. Make sure you're right at that full mark. Put your cover on. Now at this point here, you want to hop into the vehicle. Pump up that brake pedal. You want to make sure that that brake pedal goes to the floor and it's really comfortable. If it is soft and squishy, you want to go ahead and repeat the brake bleeding process again. At that point there, install your wheels and go for a road test. You should be all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.